You applied to 5 internships, you got ghosted, and now you think the system's broken. You see, it's not broken, your approach is broken. I didn't land all the jobs I've gotten because I was the smartest. I landed them because I didn't make these 3 mistakes that all students make while applying to jobs. Now, the first mistake is not applying to enough jobs. Most students I've talked to have told me, hey, I applied to 5, 10 jobs, nothing. I don't hear anything back. They think that's sufficient to land the role. Reality is, if you've got no experience, if you don't have the right connections, you're gonna have to be doing 5 to 10 applications every day for a long period of time in order to be able to actually land the role that you're looking for. Using online platforms like LinkedIn, like Seek.com, like Indeed, that's a great way to start looking for jobs, applying for jobs, saving a big list of jobs that you're looking to get into. And most people do use these, but they simply don't do enough of it. You need to have an application process where you're systemizing cover letter, you're systemizing the tailoring of cover letter, you're systemizing the tailoring of your CVs, and where you've compiled a big list of jobs, you can streamline the whole process and make it a lot faster when you actually decide to apply. You got the long list and you can really bang them out quickly. It's all about having a strategy. It's all about being systemic about the way that you approach your application process. Now, the second mistake, you're applying with volume, but the way you're making your cover letters, the way you're making your CV, the way you made your LinkedIn, it's not sufficient. Now, the first thing I want to say is when you're making your cover letters, when you're making your CV, your LinkedIn, the last thing hiring managers care about for most institutions is your GPA. They don't want to see it. From talking to hiring managers here and there at big insurance companies and big manufacturing companies, big supply chain companies and mining and big 4 companies, they've all told me the same thing. And they tell me when they receive a CV with the GPA on it, the first thing they do is they throw it away, they discard it, they don't care what it is. They care about your experience, they don't care about your grades, because grades are not a good indicator of how well you're going to perform. Now, the second thing is once you've actually mentioned all the prior experience, anything that you can leverage on your CV to be used as prior experience for the job you're applying, you're not actually describing the job properly. The descriptions you've given under your experiences on your CV and your cover letter, in your LinkedIn, they are not sufficient. You need to not beat around the bush. You need to focus on giving figures, real data, real cost savings, real improvements in percentage points that you've brought, as this very clearly delineates to your hiring manager exactly the level of value that you can bring to their organization. It's almost like a highlight reel. If you're a high school basketball player, you're trying to get into the NBA, you're dropping your 3-point average, your free throw average, you're doing all these things. You gotta give your statistics. You must understand, people don't care about what you say, they care about the results that you can provide. And this is best expressed through numeric form, through statistics, percentage, cost savings, increases in revenue, but all in specific percentages. And you want to mention all the big shot names. So if you're working with ERP systems, you're working with CRM systems, with WMS systems, you want to make sure you're using these big shot names. You're using names like SAP, you're using Python, you're saying all these buzzwords so that they understand the compatibility of their systems with your knowledge. And many times you'll find that if you are compatible, they're more than willing to give you a shot. Remember, you are selling yourself, and the best way to sell yourself, there's 2 ways. Number one, if it's a tangible achievement, then you want to show the dollar value on the cost savings, increase revenue, increase sales revenue, the metrics behind what you've been able to accomplish, how much value you've been able to provide people in the past. And number 2, if it's an intangible skill, if it's an intangible asset that you hold, that you possess, then you still want to be able to quantify it, but in more creative ways. So you're going to be talking about the quantity of clients that you worked with, the size of projects that you've worked with in dollar value. And you want to talk about the positive feedback from the clients, and you want to drop the industries of the clients in which have given you this positive feedback. This may be extremely relevant for the people that you're applying to. When you cut all the fluff and you give them straight up just the metrics, what have you actually brought value? Boom, look, what you're basically doing, you're respecting their time. You're cutting out the fluff and you're telling them, I can bring you this output through my input. So take me serious. That's what you're telling them. It is respecting your time, it's respecting their time, and it's very, very clear. It's a compendious way of selling yourself, which I guarantee you most other applicants are not doing. Now, the third mistake most young people make, they don't make leverage. See, my world belief is that the bold win. Most people are sitting around waiting for experience to fall on their lap. They're waiting for somebody to offer them a job. They're waiting for the doors to open for them. And I'm a young man myself, but I can guarantee you this. Most young people in the world need to realize one thing, and that's that nothing ever happens by accident. And if you want something to happen, you gotta push for it. You gotta reach out and open the door for it to happen. You gotta open that door. Even when I started out, I had no experience. I had to build leverage from nothing. I had no connections. I was in a new country. The important thing is I recognized the situation. I took a door-to-door sales job. Then I worked for free for 4 months in the industry that I wanted to break into. And then only then did I I actually have the experience to be able to sell myself the way I've been telling you this whole video, receiving multiple offers from Big Four, from Fortune 500s, internships here, analyst here, consultant here. So many doors open, but I had to build the leverage from nothing. And you gotta be creative, but you gotta be proactive. Point is, your leverage, even a school project, even a part-time experience, even a job that you volunteered for, that you're working for free, even just one case study of something that you did that's relevant for the field that you're looking to break into, that's proof and that's leverage. Point is, you're opening doors by yourself. You're being bold enough to do that. This is the leverage that's gonna get you from where you're at to where you're trying to get. This is what I notice most young people lack, and you hear people like Dana White talking about it. He said these young people nowadays, if they had even a little bit of savage, they'd get very far in life. And he's very right. Most people are missing that boldness, that savage energy. And what that truly is just going out there and getting what you want. And this is what's going to set you apart from the others. See, at the end of the day, you don't tell people that you're capable. You show them that you're capable. Because in this world, you'll find out there's too many charlatans. There's too many people that just talk and talk and talk. And there's very few that actually walk the talk. So in short, send a volume of applications that would make it unreasonable for you not to get a job. Write better documents. Write better descriptions on your documents. This is your CVs. And build yourself into a person worth showing. Worth the time to listen to. Because if you do these three things, you're going to get in that interview room for a Fortune 500, for an investment bank, for a Big Four. You're going to get into that interview room and you will stand out from the crowd. That's how I broke into corporate before 21 years of age, and that's how you can too if you stop making these mistakes. Thank you for watching, guys. If you got any value out of this video, make sure to hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. If you have any friends, family that you think this video would also provide any value to, then make sure to share the link with them. And bye-bye. All right, I gotta get going. I got class.